Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Crossplay, our video game podcast here at the Whatnauts. It is Saturday, May 22nd, 2021, and this is episode 72. Coming up on today's show, we got Summer Games Fest is back this year, and it's much tighter this time. Ghostrunner 2 has been announced, and EA is opening a new studio. But we will get to all that in a bit. My name is Gino Viteri, and I am joined by Ignacio Rojas.
Yo,
What's up, Ignacio. How are you?
So good.
How you feeling? How's your day so far?
Feeling good. It's been it's been mostly a chill week. It was a short week for me. We had a what's it called? Holiday this Friday.
Mm. Nice. I'm also joined by Kyle Springer. What's up, Kyle?
We are back.
Yes, we are. We took a break. We took a break for a little bit because we put out two incredible episodes last week.
Gino couldn't take the idea of Greg maybe playing Final Fantasy 14, so he had to take a break last week.
He's like, "We're done. It happened. It's over. We can stop now."
Then he realized that Greg will never do it, so that's why he's back.
Yeah. No, we had some last minute scheduling stuff, and it didn't happen. So here we are, like a week late, kind of, but that's okay. We're back, having fun.
All good.
I think this will be a good one.
So I convinced Greg to try Final Fantasy, right? Of course, and then
I don't think convinced is the right word.
I got him to download
about it.
I got him to download it, and then this is I always had it in the back of my mind. He's not gonna try it. He does not have time for this game. There's no way he's gonna. Yeah. But I held out hope, because Blessing also seemed
shouldn't.
Blessing also seemed interested, and Greg absolutely loves Blessing and wants to play with him all the time. So I thought they were gonna do it, and then I hopped into Andy's chat, Andy Cortez from Kind of Funny, of course, and I was like, "Hey, when are you gonna try Final Fantasy?" And he absolutely just gave it to me good. He said the truth. You know, he was like, "They're not gonna fucking try. Are you kidding yourself, dude?" Man, but that's why I like Andy. He's straight. You know what I mean? He's straight.
Yeah, straight shooter.
Straight shooter, that Andy.
Yeah. So I guess he's not gonna try it. But how are you guys though? Yeah,
that's we've been chilling here. How are you guys? My week has been good. It's been busy but productive. I don't really have much else to say about that. I've been in like a TV watching mood recently, so I've like binge watched a whole bunch of shows, read a bunch of comics and stuff like that. But that's kind of what I've been up to. What about you guys?
I went back home to Miami to visit my family this past week. And very, very big day for my mom on May 19th. May 19th, yeah. She became a citizen of the United States of America.
Nice. So, congratulations.
Yes, very, very, very proud of her. Very happy for her. 20-something years in the making. 20-something years in the making. So I don't know how many exactly how many. I think it's 24. But yeah, finally that weight is lifted, and now our entire family is they're proud Americans now. Proud Americans.
There you go.
So yeah, that's been my week. I haven't really played anything. So cool. Just been doing that. What about you, Ignacio?
No, like I said, it's been a pretty chill week, relatively speaking. I had, like I said, a holiday on Friday. Mondays I don't have classes, so it was just Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. With school stuff, luckily it hasn't been a hard week. I've had some stuff here and there for school, but not as much as I've had on the previous weeks. I was gonna have tennis classes on Thursday, but there was a lot of rain on Thursday, so it had to get canceled.
Rain.
Yeah, other than that, it's been pretty normal.
So as you guys know, Alan is not here this week. He decided to continue discoing.
Discoing.
So, yeah, that's what he says, right? He dances
Alan
disco
Busby.
every week.
Disco King.
Dancing disco over there. Never would have thought that he'd be into that, but
Yeah.
or
Apparently,
anyone for that matter at this in this day and age. But,
anyone his age. This day and age.
but as long as he's having fun, as long as he's having a good time,
Yeah.
then go on to the great disco world, my friend. Go on.
The great disco in
There you go.
the sky.
Go disco dancing on the sky.
Closest I got into disco is trying out Disco Elysium.
Oh, you did?
No, I tried it when it first came out a very long time ago.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this week.
No, on PC or whatever, and definitely not my kind of game. Not
Yeah.
my kind
Interesting.
Of game. A lot of reading.
Seems
As
like
you guys know,
a game for dorks.
that the most reading I've ever done in my life was Nier
Yeah.
Replicant. If you guys remember that last episode
Yeah.
when I was talking about that, that was crazy. Before that, the most I had ever read, I'm being honest with you guys, I don't read. I don't read like you. I don't know if you think I'm
cannot
joking.
read, but what about school?
I
Books?
read what. So this is what happened. You know how they would leave you assigned reading and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Spark notes all the way, dude.
Yeah.
Spark notes 100%. Read the summary, passed the test either way. And I
Dude.
was like, that.
in I'm gonna say middle school or something, we had to read the Scarlet Letter for a class, and I guess I had completely forgot that one day we had our first hey, have you read the first 4 chapters? And I hadn't started the book yet, and so we have this pop quiz, and it's a verbal thing. It's not something we're writing down, but our teacher is asking stuff. She asked me the first thing of the day, and I'm just fuck, I haven't even read this book, but I just completely bullshitted it. I was like, oh yeah, the Scarlet Letter represents this thing and that thing, and she goes, interesting, yeah, that makes sense, huh? Never thought about it like that. I was just like, fuck yeah, okay, good.
So I wanted to get to the most I had ever read, and I remember this because it was the most I had ever read up until Nier Replicant at that point in my life. It was The Alchemist. You guys ever heard of that book, The Alchemist?
I don't think so.
Couldn't tell you what it's about.
Full Metal.
Right now, couldn't tell you what it's about. Something about an alchemist. We know what alchemists do. They do their thing. And I read half of it, and I was like, "That's a pretty good book." And then I stopped. I was like, I'm gonna stick to this thing that I got going on of never reading. So
I'm not much of a
he was
reader.
he was like, man, the book might not end well. The next book I might read might be bad. I should just stop here.
Yeah, let's just close it here. Let's just close it here. Let's end it on a good note. It's good so far. Let's just stop.
Exactly.
Let's just stop there.
Yeah. I'm not much of a reader either. At most, the books that they would give us at school, I think the longest one they ever had us read was Don Quixote, Man of La Mancha, which is a very long book. It's so long that we didn't even have to read the whole book. It was not even half either, a fourth at most, and even that was over 200 pages, even more. And that's old stuff. Don Quixote was written a very long time, so that's old Spanish.
Yeah.
And so other than that, the only book that I have read on my own because I wanted to was The Cursed Child, which is the Harry Potter play. But the funny thing is that it isn't really a book. It is pretty much the script of the play.
Yeah.
Made a book. So even then, it was a bit cheating.
Well, how come we haven't gotten a movie of that yet? Because I'm not gonna read Harry Potter. I'm not gonna read Game of Thrones. I'm gonna watch it though.
I'm sure
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, but even then, they'll probably do it at some point. It's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It is a cash cow. They have a Harry Potter land on Universal.
Yeah. I really blanked out on that. Really blanked
when
out
did
on her for a second.
I think it has to do with the Fantastic Beasts series.
When did the last Harry Potter like proper movie come out?
Jeez, that's
I'm gonna say like 2011. I'm gonna say 2011.
Yeah, it has to be like 10
Check
years.
Ignacio.
Look that up, because yeah, we're getting to that point where it's like it's almost fair game to like recast everyone and just be like, we're relaunching brand new Harry Potter. Here you go.
I want them to wait until the actor's out of the right age. That would be pretty cool.
They could, yeah.
Yeah,
interesting.
Out in 2011, yeah, July 7th.
Ooh, wow, that was a guess for
10
me.
10 years ago.
And I am not in any. I am no authority for Harry Potter. I just watched the movies.
I love Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I love it.
But you see, I know more than you, Ignacio. So there you go. I thought when you said you were,
I said that it was probably 10 years.
When you said the book you've read, that you read of your own volition, I thought you were gonna say the Bible. I don't know why I thought that, because I was just thinking about it at the time. Have you guys ever read the Bible?
I've read parts of the Bible, but just because of the school stuff.
Heard of this book, the Bible?
The Bible.
The Bible. Have you heard of the Word of our Lord and Savior?
Picked it up hardback on Barnes and Nobles the other day.
Signed copy.
Signed copy.
No, I've read parts here and there, but because of school stuff and one or two religious.
New Testament or Old Testament kind of guy. Huh?
I'm more of a New Testament. To be honest, New Testament God seems more nicer than Old Testament God.
Dude, they asked, who is it? When they asked Trump that, like, or Old Testament or New Testament kind of, he was like, I like both. Like, what kind of answer is that? Yeah, I don't mind both. That's so funny, dude. That's what I would answer, because I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest with you. So,
New Testament is Jesus stuff. Old Testament is more of the Moses and the flood and it.
Yeah, the Jews and
even
prophets
Adam and Eve.
And
all that stuff.
Anyways,
well, yeah,
this
you guys
is not a religious podcast.
Yeah, you could hear all about that on our religion podcast, Captain's Log. So,
that's not what that is.
So why don't we get into what we've been playing, my friends? What we've been playing. I wanna throw it over to Kyle.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Did the jingle play or not?
The jingle did play. Did you guys not hear that on your end? No.
I forgot.
I say it because I feel like Chino didn't stop for the jingle.
I did it instantly. I started talking.
Yeah, Chino didn't stop for the jingle.
I entirely forgot about a jingle for what we've been playing.
Carl said it. No, this is the first time Carl said it before we started.
Yeah, yeah. So things are a little bit different this week, just slightly. We are playing what was the housekeeping jingle for what we've been playing, and then housekeeping has a brand new video that we will insert in.
Oh, I see it
on this thing here.
I missed it when you said that pre-show. My bad. That's fine.
I haven't been playing much of anything actually. Not really been in a video game mood. And that happens sometimes, and that's a-okay. But I mentioned I've been binge watching a bunch of TV shows. I have watched Wu-Tang: An American Saga on Hulu, and that was pretty good. It had some rough spots in the first two, but then it started to get a lot better as the show went on. So hopefully they make a season 2 with that, because they're definitely not done with that story. But it is neat to see this, like, I don't know exactly how accurate it is, but like this fictionalized but fairly accurate portrayal of how Wu-Tang Clan came together. And stuff like that. So that's been a lot of fun. What else have I been watching? I just watched Devs. Have you guys seen that one?
That's the one with Nick Offerman, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that the one that has something to do with Ubisoft, I think?
No, not that.
Am I thinking of another one?
That's oh shit. What's the I don't remember the name of that one, but no, the one you're thinking of, Ignacio, is more of like a comedy about what it's like to be in game development and stuff like that. No, Devs was a show on FX, and it's like hard sci-fi. It's really slow. There's not much action. But there's this.
Wait, so does it have to do with gaming or not?
Not at all. No.
Oh, because of the name, I thought it was game developers.
Development in terms of like, hey, we're a tech company and we're developing something.
That's why I jumped to the Ubisoft thing.
Yeah, and Devs is their like top secret, ultra like off the books section, and this guy gets deducted into that one and looks at the code of all the stuff that they're working on, and he freaks out and like panics and starts vomiting and stuff like that, and then tries to run away, and they murder him. And so the girlfriend of that guy is like trying to figure out what happened and all of that stuff. And yeah, it's an interesting show indeed. But I've been watching a lot of stuff like that.
I just saw Army of the Dead on Netflix, Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. Pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I don't like how it ended, but it was pretty cool. This is a regular, zombie action movie with Dave Bautista / Drax.
It's set in Las Vegas, right?
Specifically in Las Vegas, yeah. Like they contained the entire zombie apocalypse to Las Vegas only, which was interesting.
As one does.
The way they did it, yeah. That's the smartest way to do it, to be honest with you. So pretty cool movie though. But Zack Snyder, he's a good one. He's a good one.
Good stuff.
What about you, Ignacio? What you been playing?
We played some quite a few things. I don't know if you want to start with Knockout City. I know I didn't write it here, but I know we both been playing it.
Yeah.
Or I at least tried it out.
Yeah, I could talk about Knockout City for a bit. I played it on Friday night when it came out. I played it for like 5 hours straight.
Jeez.
It is really fun, guys. It's
so if you don't know, you can play the game for free. 10 days starting Friday.
For 10 days. Yeah, for 10 days. So you could just
starting
download
the
it on
Friday that already passed, or the one that's
this Friday.
The game came out on Friday, and then 10 free days
that
for you
already passed.
So there's 8 days left, I suppose, or 9 days left.
Or however long when these comes out.
Yeah, but you could download it on anything, on PlayStation 4, PS5, Xbox One Series, like
PC,
that.
full crossplay,
Switch. It's on everything, and the crossplay is so amazingly seamless. Like you just invite your friends and that's it. There is no issues with crossplay in this game, which I thought was pretty awesome. And so they had little hiccups in the beginning when they released it with the opening it up and it was crashing on Xbox and all that stuff. But once you get into the groove of the game, it's very fun. If you don't know what Knockout City is, it's pretty much extreme dodgeball. Is just the way I would describe it. You do little twirls, little
dive and dodge,
little spin. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
The dodgeball, a true underdog story, just really and everyone's ahead right now with that. Like you go down Twitch, you see everyone's title is you could dodge, if you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball, and some nobody makes me bleed my own blood. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Nobody.
That part's so good. You haven't seen this movie, Ignacio?
What movie are we talking about?
Dodgeball. With freaking Ben Stiller and
no.
You gotta watch hilarious. That movie, dude. You need this movie to play.
Every bone in his body.
You need to watch this movie to play Knockout City. It's like
Oh,
Yeah.
see, that's why I didn't play that.
Yeah, that's why you don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's directly
I
connected
don't
to
know
it.
the lore behind the game.
Exactly.
ESPN
Exactly.
8, the Ocho.
So yeah, this game has no story at all. You're just playing dodgeball with
That's cool.
it's 3v3s.
3v3, a small arena,
yeah, you can
balls
do
all scattered
customs.
around.
There's different kinds of balls that you pick up. There's a sniper ball, multi-ball, which is self-explanatory. There's bomb balls, cage ball, which if you hit someone, it traps them in a little cage, and you could pick up that cage and throw it away or whatever you do. But yeah, it's a heck of a lot of fun to play just with a bunch of friends or just hopping in alone and destroying some people.
The game is simple enough, and I think that's one of its strong parts, and maybe one of what it will eventually be its downfall. Yeah, it is picture like a small arena. I don't know, kind of like if you played Splatoon, picture that type of arena, but maybe a bit smaller. But yeah, there are balls scattered around. It's 3-on-3. You pick them up, and you have to basically hit your opponents. Everyone has kind of like 2 lives, so you have to hit them twice. So yeah, the first team to 10 wins it, and it is simple, but because of that, I think it can be a lot of fun. I did enjoy my time with it, even though it wasn't that long. But I think with friends, especially, it can be a lot of fun because it is very simple to pick up and play, and then it's not only throwing the balls, but then you also start catching them. And if you have an opponent with a ball, you can just ram into them to drop the ball.
Yeah,
you start like getting accustomed to those things, and it starts getting even more fun.
I have a question. Is this dodgeball in the sense that like one team has to stay on that side, or is it like you can go
that's why
wherever you want?
It is kind of like Splatoon.
Okay.
If I remember Splatoon correctly. But it is a bit of a smaller arena, but you have different places to go for. For example, the first one that I played, it was 2 rooftops with like a small bridge in the middle. So you just go at it. You find a ball, and then you try to find your opponents.
That's why I say extreme dodgeball. You know, because it doesn't follow the guidelines of your traditional dodgeball. I really like the way you know how when we used to play dodgeball in school, and then you would hit someone right on the head, and you hear the ka-dunk, you know what I mean? That big noise. Love hearing that in this game. Love hearing it in this game. You hear it often. I like that they like that specific little detail. You hear that little dodgeball hitting someone right in the head. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Imagine them trying to record that sound, right? Where they just have some guy standing there like, stand there. Hey, intern, come stand right here, right? And they have like a mic right there. And they're just chucking the dodgeballs at them.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it. There's no other way you could
create
that sound. Yep. I assume there isn't any other way.
Yeah, but the game, like you said, Gino, it has a bit of a popularity surge. I didn't expect much about this game when I saw it. I think it popped up on one of the Nintendo showcases at some point.
Yeah.
Or maybe even the proper direct. And so I didn't expect much out of it. But a lot of people gravitated towards it. Again, I think that it is simple enough that maybe that's why people are gravitating towards it. But I think that maybe that's because of that it won't last long.
I think the other thing about it is that it is unique. It's not your typical, hero shooter that comes out, or a lot of people compare it to Fortnite, but just on its looks alone, I don't know why people are comparing it to Fortnite.
The characters don't look good. Let's be honest.
Everyone says everything looks like Fortnite nowadays.
No. It's not even close to Fortnite.
Looks like Fortnite,
You have a little bit of those weird, like different kinds of graphics, and it looks like Fortnite. It's so weird, but it's entirely different. It's nothing like it. I feel like that's because it did surprise me that it's instant surge in popularity once it came out. Ignacio, I saw everyone playing it and everyone excited to play it, and it's deserved because once you start playing it, you do you do like it and you have a lot of fun. But yeah, it's very simple to get into it and just pick up and play. It's that kind of game, and best crossplay, I think, in more recent times with everything that's been going on with crossplay in general. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I haven't played much of anything else.
Yeah, apparently I'm the only one who played it.
Yeah.
Like several things.
All right, get Fortnite out of the way.
Fine. No, the only reason that I wanted to bring up Fortnite was, one, I got to level 100.
Okay.
I never expected to ever get anywhere close to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm level 100 now. The other thing the other reason that I wanted to talk about is that the season is ending pretty soon. I think either first or second week of June. And so whenever I brought up Fortnite, I haven't really spoken about the season that we're in. If you don't know, the theme of the season is survival. And it came right after last season, which was all about rifts opening and all these multiverses collapsing into one and yada, yada, yada. And this was supposed to be the culmination of that, or the aftermath of that. And so I think that this season has been pretty okay for the most of it, because like I said, last season it felt pretty eventful. Like, it felt like pretty often you would open up Twitter and then Fortnite would have something with Jonesy having his audio log and I'm in this weird spaceship and there are these aliens that are popping out of people's chests, and then you would be, Alien is gonna be on the game. Yeah. And if you played like the ending cinematic / opening cinematic of the new season, you would have seen that they had people like, they had the Xenomorphs, they had Ripley, they had Sarah Connor and the Terminator, they had Street Fighter, Kratos, Master Chief, and so many others. And then now that we get to this season, it feels like the gas, they burnt a lot of gas in the tank for that season, and this season they didn't have much left apparently, because we have gotten characters here and there. Like Lara Croft has been a part of the season since the beginning. They added Aloy at some point, and then now we have characters like Neymar Jr., which is a soccer player in the game, and this week they added NBA people. And they also added some Batman 0 Point stuff and Catwoman 0 Point stuff. But it hasn't felt eventful at all. Like, it wasn't
kind of like a random handful of like, let's just get all the ones that we didn't really have something that fit in, and let's just stick them here.
Yeah, and you haven't gotten the thing that you get the season. For example, one week we talk about how people in the game were seeing these rifts, and on the other side they saw one of the stages in Street Fighter, and is Ryu coming to the game and stuff like that. And this season you haven't gotten anything like that. Like, it was pretty much, now we got they randomly announced that Batman 0 Point is gonna be on this, and Neymar
you gotta read the comics for Batman. That's why.
Yeah.
There's your context there.
There.
Gino, have you been keeping up with that comic?
I read the first issue. I haven't.
Oh, you read it?
Yeah, I read the first issue. I haven't read the there's 2 new ones that came out. I haven't read. Yeah. I saw the latest one. It's Batman fighting Snake Eyes, which is cool.
Yeah, they're on issue 3 right now. Which I have the DC Universe Infinite app, so I see it up there, and I've heard good things. I'm a big comic book nerd, so I listen to some comic book podcasts, and they're like, yeah, this is actually not bad. Like, this is pretty neat. So
yeah, it's pretty interesting the way they're doing it.
But again, he's on the game like as a skin only. Mm-hmm. He had like an opening cinematic when he was revealed, but other than that, he's just a skin. I don't know what's happening on the comic, if it has anything to do with Fortnite. But
it's cool the way they do it in the comic, because like, it's Batman got transported into the island, and he can't talk, so like, he has a conscience, and he knows that he's like, what's happening, like, why is no one talking, why are people just trying to kill each other? It's pretty cool.
It seems like he's doing his Batman thing to like figure out and catalog what is happening. So if someone dies, they go over here and like all of this stuff, and like if I get this thing, then I can do that. And yeah. So he's like figuring out how it works.
Yeah.
I think we may have lost Ignacio. His camera is frozen.
Oh. Okay. Man, I guess that's just. Oh, there he is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
I don't know why the internet dropped all of a sudden. But the last thing that I wanted to talk about like for that is that, like I said, the season is ending pretty soon. Like I think June 5th, if I'm not mistaken. And so even for last season, it felt like it was all building up towards something. And even the season before that, we Galactus and all that, it felt like they start ramping up to something. But for this season, it feels like every day is just like the day before. It's business as usual. There's nothing neat happening.
Do we know what's happening next? Like, is chapter 2 ending or anything like that? Anytime
chapter
soon?
Chapter 1 lasted 10 seasons, and we're currently in season 6 of chapter 2.
Okay.
So I'm not expecting it to end anytime soon.
I gotcha.
What predictions do you have for the next season, Ignacio? What do you think they should
I don't know. We have the season. Maybe the season started with Jonesy saving the island from this like colossal thing that was happening. The dimensions were falling apart and all that, and he kind of like sacrificed himself into the cool thing, which at the center of the map there is like this whole tower. Mm-hmm. And so Jonesy, at the end of his thing, he sacrificed himself, and that like cocooned him into like this ball, and you can go up to that on the map, which I thought was pretty cool. So I'm guessing it has something to do with Jonesy coming back, and also the mysterious character that we got on the cinematic for the opening of this season, which Jonesy brought into the dimension, which everyone thinks that is gonna be The Rock.
Probably is.
Probably he is, especially with the court documents that we got out of the Epic Apple.
Yeah.
What if we could get a skin for Steve Jobs? You can be Steve Jobs in Fortnite.
There you go.
Sure.
There you go.
But yeah, I don't know. It like even when that character appeared, it kind of felt like they were teasing something even bigger with kind of like this organization that was above them and like that. But they haven't done anything with it. Nothing. So like that character was on that cinematic. He interacted with Jonesy, and we've seen nothing of it. Mm-hmm. So I hope that they do something with it for next season.
Cool. There you go.
Other than that, I finished Resident Evil Village, and so my thoughts on it are a bit mixed. I enjoyed the game. I think the game is pretty good, but one of the problems that I have with it is that they came from Resident Evil 7, which was like them bringing back the survival horror to Resident Evil. Like if you remember, like Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 were all survival horrors, and then 4, 5, and 6 became more of action games. And so 7 was like them going back to survival horror. But now with Village, it feels like they are going back to the action part of going back to action. They have parts here and there that are similar to Resident Evil 7, like Castle Dimitrescu is the closest to Resident Evil 7 that we got, or a classic Resident Evil that we got, which is like you explore this castle, finding keys and finding all the things so that you can escape. That's the closest that you get to that. Then you got like another house that is similar to it, but it isn't pretty long. And then after that, it's all pretty much action all the way through. Like you get there are things here and there that are you having to get this one thing to open this one other thing, but it all feels like one lane, one corridor that you have to follow. Mm-hmm. And so the game became pretty action heavy to the point that there is one part in the game where it is you straight up do not care about bullets, about having enough to kill enemies. They just throw a lot of enemies at you. You have your machine gun, your pistol, and all that. Just go through them. And so, even though I enjoyed the game at the end of it, and I'm intrigued by how it ended, I am a bit disappointed that it seems like they are going away from survival horror once again.
Mm.
Which if you remember that didn't work out last time.
Yeah. Interesting.
This game is extremely scary to me. So I finished the Castle Dimitrescu part. I haven't got into the next area yet. The second I don't know why everyone's using biome so often this time. But the second area, yeah. I thought biome for some reason. But second area,
boss area
with the I assume is the puppet lady, I think, or the
yeah.
And I am deathly afraid to approach that. So
I think that house is probably the scariest on the game.
Yeah,
and it doesn't last very long. And after that, I wouldn't say the game is very scary. Like I think Kyle would probably have a good time with the game.
So
Kyle, I think you should. No, Kyle. Honestly speaking, Resident Evil 2 was way scarier than this game.
no,
Okay.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
You are outside on this.
Gino's like, no, I am putting my foot down. No to that.
You are outside during the day very often in the game.
So I've heard.
It is very often. Like even Castle Dimitrescu wasn't scary. It maybe was tense in a couple of places, but it wasn't really scary.
That one was just
I've
sexy
heard-
the whole time.
What I've heard from listening to podcasts and stuff is that people are kind of settling on it's an interesting mix of things, because there are certain sections that are like the classic survival horror, and then there are sections that are more action based. There are certain things that are really scary, but it's really only like one or two moments. So it seems like a greatest hits type of thing of like, hey, we have a little bit of everything.
Yeah, like even Gino, the part that you are that the quote unquote dollhouse, it is only scary that it's second half, I would say.
Okay.
Like at most, it is a bit eerie. It is a bit there. It is a bit of suspense, but I wouldn't say that the game is super scary. Even Castle Dimitrescu had parts where you were going through the dungeon, and that's it. Like the dungeons are probably the scariest part of it, and then the dollhouse again. It is probably the scariest part in the game, and that doesn't last very long. And after that, it is. I mean, pretty much
doesn't last very long depending on the kind of player you are. You could just blast through it if you want. But me, I'm gonna find a safe room and I'm gonna stay there for like 30 minutes trying to, get my bearings.
Plan out the next route.
I think what I did was I beat the boss fight of Castle Dimitrescu. I went then to the dollhouse and I beat the dollhouse, and then I went to the next one in one sitting.
Okay.
So yeah,
I see. There you go.
Yeah, Kyle, I don't think that you would have that much trouble with the game.
Good to know.
I do recommend people playing it. Play it. It is still
it's
fun
a good game
to go through it.
Yeah, it's a good game.
It is a good game, and I still think that Ethan is not that good of a character. He's still an asshole, but at the end, I think that he redeems himself. Kind of
cool. Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
It is nice seeing the evolution of his story, and the game is beautiful. It is very beautiful.
100%. Yeah, it's very beautiful.
So, yeah, definitely check that one. The last game that I have here is Mass Effect from the Legacy Edition collection. So it is Mass Effect 1. I've never played Mass Effect before. I don't think so. The closest I've gotten was I played the demo for Mass Effect 3, and I remember I didn't like the gameplay of it. And so, since Mass Effect is one of the games that people always talk about, I wanted to give it a shot, like a real shot. So far, I don't think the game is grabbing me. The story hasn't grabbed me yet, but I can see parts that would... Like, I can see some... rays of sunlight that there is something there that it could grab me, so that's one of the reasons that I want to keep going. The gameplay
How long have you played?
Like 3 hours, 2 hours.
Okay,
2 hours. Yeah, so it is still pretty early on the game. I still do not like the gameplay. It does feel in a lot of parts like an old game. I know that the gameplay for 1 was tweaked in order for it to feel more like the gameplay for 2 and 3. And even then, it still feels old. Like there isn't this game is like a cover shooter. You're gonna take cover a lot of times in corridors with enemies on the other side that you have to shoot. But the game doesn't have like a button for you to go get into cover. You have to. That's one of the things that I don't like. You have to press against the wall, and then the character goes into the wall, like to take cover. But I do not feel like it feels pretty good. The shooting doesn't feel pretty good to me. But yeah, other than that, the game looks, honestly, for an old game, it looks for the most part pretty good. I've seen videos of Mass Effect 1, and it is kind of like day and night, literally, because I've seen videos of parts of it of the part that I was on, and in the video it felt like it was a nighttime, but on the game that I played, no, it was pretty much daytime. That's so funny. It kind of literally is day and night. The game looks pretty cool, pretty good visually, especially the Citadel. There was one part that I was walking through the Citadel and looked up to the sky and looked up to the whole structure, and it looked so good. They did a good work mastering it. The parts, the reason that I say for the most part it looks good is that the models do not look good. They look better than how they looked like all those years ago, but they still look weird in a certain way. I do not know how to describe it, but the part that bothers me the most out of every character, like every character has this problem, the eyes. The eyes are so weird.
I thought that's what you were gonna mention. Yeah, I've seen that.
The eyes look so out of place, and they are always looking like their eyes are always wide open, like always like that. And one of the problems that I have with it is that it feels like they didn't animate the eyes by hand. Like they gave them some like AI script for the eyes to move, and it doesn't work. There was this one scene when I was talking to the other character, and the character was talking to me but looking down like that. He was looking down, but talking to me.
Yeah.
Like, hey, dude, I'm up here.
Yeah, that looks so. It looks so weird.
That's funny.
But yeah, I do not have many problems with the game about it being old. I have some problems here and there. Like, I feel like some of I don't know if it is a bug or if it was written like that, but if you don't know, Mass Effect is very choice heavy, like dialogue choice heavy. And a lot of times I felt like there are 3 options. I chose the one on the top, but I feel like the game picked the one in the middle. Like, at first I was like feeling it like, oh, I might be wrong. I might have pressed something. I meant to press the one on the top, but I pressed the one in the middle. But there was this one part where I remembered what the middle option was, and I picked the one on the top, and I'm pretty sure it went to the middle one. It's so. I don't know if that's a bug or if it is like that.
Like that with other games that are similar, where it's like because they can't fit the entire dialogue right in that little thing, they have to somehow summarize it. But then I get the problem where it's like, oh, I pick my choice based on the summary, and then what they say is like, well, that's not what your summary said. Like, is that what you're?
It wasn't that. It was there because the choices are pretty much like either you're either it's very aggressive, neutral, or the opposite of aggressive, like that. And I remember that for this one moment, there was something specific that the middle one said. And then the top one that I chose, it didn't. I do not think that it was going that way. I chose the one on the top, and it pretty much said what the middle one said. It straight up said what the middle one said.
It might just be a bug, because I remember that game being really buggy back in the day, and this is really
I looked it up on Google and I couldn't find anything.
Or you probably misclicked, Ignacio. We could say that.
No, I made I'm telling you, I got the feeling that was what was happening, and then I go to this one where I consciously and I consciously chose the one at the top. I made sure that it was the one on the top, and I'm pretty sure he did the middle one.
Wow.
All right.
But yeah,
Nice.
Go.
I have some other problems here and there, but it's not worth going into it for much longer.
Go.
All
Well,
right.
with that, let's take a quick break for housekeeping, and we will be right back. We put a lot of hard work into the shows that we make, and yes, we make multiple different shows here at the Whatnauts, and we'd love it if you would check them all out. You can find out more information on our websites at thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. When you type in the Whatnauts, all of our shows will pop up right there. Just don't forget to give us a nice rating and review if you like the shows. If you want to support what we do here at The Whatnauts, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is the best place to do that. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. You can get all kinds of exclusive content at our $3 tier, and you can get a shout out and thank you on all of our shows at the $5 tier. You can support us on Twitch by subscribing to our channel at twitch.tv/thewhatnauts, and we would love to have you all join us for our live streams and talk with us in the chat. And lastly, we have merch. If you want to grab yourself a shirt or a sweatshirt or a mug or something else, head over to thewhatnauts.com/store to pick up some merch today. And we're back. Hope you guys liked that little video that I made there. We're trying something new out with that.
Nice job, Kyle. That was very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys haven't even seen it yet, but yeah, thanks.
I love it. I love it.
Made it all myself. So big shout out to our Patreon supporters at the $5 tier and above. So thank you, Sam, so much for helping us out and rocking with us for so long. We love you a lot and appreciate you.
Thank you,
Last
Sam.
but not least, shout out other cool videos. What did we do this past week? We covered the Mitchells versus the Machines on the review show, and holy shit, that movie is great.
I gotta watch it.
Really?
It might be one of the best movies of the year. It's so good. It's by the same studio that did Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's a Netflix original film. It's written by the people that do Gravity Falls. I think that was a Disney Channel Plus show or something. But yeah, it's great. Highly recommend it. I was laughing out loud at multiple parts. It's so good. So please go check that one out because that was a lot of fun. And on top of that, if you missed it, about 2 weeks ago, we got to interview Greg Miller of Kinda Funny, and that was a lot of fun. So if you guys want to hear more thoughts on Resident Evil Village, you guys can check that stuff out, as well as his journey with cancer and trophy hunting and stuff like that. We had a blast. It was good.
And lying to cheat on space.
Oh yeah.
About
Right,
Final
yeah.
Fantasy 14.
Yeah, sure. I'll play Final Fantasy 14.
Sure, I downloaded it.
But with that, let's get on to the news of the week.
All right, guys. We got 4 articles here, 4 news stories that I want to talk to you about. I want to pick your brain, Kyle. I want to pick your brain, Ignacio. Let's go into number 1. According to Jeff Grubby Grub, Starfield will be an Xbox exclusive. As we all know,
Probably grabbed the first time that I've heard it like that.
As we all know, Jeff Grubb from VentureBeat is a reporter with extensive insider knowledge when it comes to the video game industry. So when he tweeted confirmation on his part that Starfield will be an Xbox exclusive, Twitter ran amok with rumors and discourse. One of those rumors was that the game will be released in 2021 and make an appearance at E3 this June. This rumor was shot down by Jason Schreier and others, saying that it will be released in 2022. So, Ignacio, what do you think about the discourse going on about Starfield being exclusive to Xbox after they purchased Bethesda and them seemingly taking it from PlayStation, which I don't think they did, to be honest with you.
I have some thoughts about it. Look, Jeffrey Grubb clearly he knows stuff.
Yes.
People talk to him.
Yeah.
He is very well known in the industry for knowing stuff. And so if he says that Starfield will be an Xbox exclusive, it's probably true. Although the way that he worded it kind of felt like he didn't know, but he knew, but he didn't know. So I don't know if that's 100% confirmation.
Let me pull up the tweet that he did. So someone tweeted at him. He said, "I had a bunch of messages and super chats about Starfield today where people were saying that Jeff Grubb said that it wasn't exclusive or whatever. So I figured I'd tweet this out and have Jeff clear the air since it seems what he says gets twisted by people." So Jeff quote tweeted that, saying, "Starfield is exclusive to Xbox and PC, period. This is me confirming that."
Do you have what he said after that?
And then he also
Which
said
is why
after that,
I'm doubting.
Someone said, "Not to sound rude, but who are you and why are you the one who can confirm that?" He then quote tweeted that and he said, "I'm Jeff, and y'all, I don't mean I'm confirming it for Microsoft. I mean I've confirmed it in terms of my reporting." So
I hadn't read that one. It wasn't the one that I was thinking of, but I still thought that sounds weird.
Would you read? You probably read Go Write the Story. He blames Tim Geddes and Game Over Greggy. I thought I was ending a discourse, not starting one. Yeah, but that's...
It was the tweet where he said, I shouldn't have heard Tim and Greg on this. I should have gone with Paris and all that. And the reason that it had me doubt whether he knew, if someone told him, was that if he knew, why would he have been swayed by what Tim and Greg would have said? That's what has me not being 100% sure that he is confirmed 100%.
I see what you mean.
So, assuming that this is all true, I'm not I do not like this, to be honest. I know that Microsoft owns Bethesda. We have to make good with that reality. The problem that I have with Starfield in particular was that Starfield was revealed 3 years ago. So if it was revealed 3 years ago, it was in development maybe a year before that. And so that means that it was most probably being worked on for PS4 also.
Yeah.
So if it is an Xbox exclusive, it then means that they came and they shut down the PS4 version. So this isn't much of Microsoft getting an exclusive, but they are pretty much taking away a game from PlayStation. Straight up. That's the problem that I have. And one of the reasons that the problem is even worse for me was that Phil Spencer once said in an interview with Kotaku about the Bethesda deal, quote, "This deal wasn't done to take away games from another player base like that." They are doing it. They are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I have a problem with it.
Let me throw it over to you, Kyle, because I thought of it different. I didn't think of it that way, Ignacio. Where they have probably been working on it for these other consoles, but I thought of it in the mind that Starfield doesn't have a legacy on any console. So for them to make it exclusive to Xbox and PC, they will then begin the legacy for Starfield on their own console. I don't think that they will take games like Elder Scrolls, Fallout, stuff like that were also on PlayStation previously. So do you have thoughts on that specifically, Kyle?
A little bit. I think if there's a game they could start making the transition to being like, yeah, we're gonna have Bethesda like exclusives on Xbox, I think this would be a good one to start with. This doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be fully exclusive. They could do what PlayStation did with Final Fantasy, right? Of like, hey, for the first year, it's going to be exclusive on Xbox, which then doesn't take it away from PlayStation, but maybe gives Microsoft the advantage of like, hey, we're gonna build the legacy on Microsoft that this is where Starfield will be down the road. So, who knows? But besides that, I don't really know much about this game yet, except that it's supposed to be like a sci-fi RPG.
We don't know nothing about it.
Yeah,
right. It's just like
we got the reveal and that's it.
That's interesting that you mentioned that too, because there's a lot of conversation that it's releasing this year, and I have no idea why people think that, or why anybody would even begin to imagine that it could release this year.
I think what Ignacio mentioned is that they revealed it 3 years ago. Maybe they were working on it the year before. So about 3 or 4 years, that's a good typical number of like, hey, we've been working on this game. It's almost done.
And then you would think that we would have seen more of it at this point.
Not necessarily if they go the Fallout 4 route. Reveal it on E3. Release it on that year. I don't think that we know enough to say one way or the other if it's gonna come out. It could very well come out this year. It could very well not come out this year. We do not know enough about it.
But it also seems like when Jason Schreier tweeted about it, he confirmed that it wasn't coming out this year. He said that they're in talks to tease it at E3 for a release date late 2022. So that's where your expectations should be, is what he said. I'm summarizing what he said, but that was along the lines of what he said. So that seems more believable to me than a 2021 release date.
Sure.
Especially with everything that went on.
I don't think we know enough.
Yeah, we definitely don't know enough. But there we have it. Jeffy Grubberton. All right, let's go. Yeah. Number 2. Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest is back. Much tighter and much smoother. Jeff Keighley's foray into a new kind of E3 last year in 2020 with Summer Games Fest was great, but sort of a mess. It spanned across the entire summer, about 4 months, with some showcases that were just not worth anybody's time. This time around, Jeff seems to have learned from last year and has split Summer Games Fest across 4 different events this year. The event kicks off with Kickoff Live on June 10th at 11 a.m. Pacific. This will be a world premiere showcase with various partners and even a performance by Weezer. On June 12th, we will see Ubisoft's upcoming games with Ubisoft Forward. On June 16th will be the Steam Next Fest, which will last for 6 days. And finally, on June 22nd, there will be an EA Play Live. Are you hyped, Kyle?
Yeah, I'm stoked, man. I like the idea of Summer Game Fest. We'll have to see what its future will be now that E3 is coming back. Because that was the thing. Like I liked this as an idea for replacing E3. But as we saw last year, it had a long way to go to even get anywhere near that. So I like that it's smaller. I like that it's tighter. I like, but I like that it is a longer celebration, if that makes sense, because I think when everything happens all in like the span of 3 days, as it sometimes does with E3, there's so much that you can't really pay attention to all of it. So I like the fact that it could be like, this is going to be like a week or 2, or like I think you said it's all in 1 month, but it's like
it's 4 different events,
times with So I like that. I'm interested to see where it goes from here. I think that's the most exciting thing. Like, will this be, because competition can be a good thing, right? Now that E3 has to kind of compete with this in some way, shape, or reform. Maybe it'll help them both figure out stuff.
Yeah, I see they have a lot of partners for the showcase. One notable one was PlayStation to me, that PlayStation is going to be there. I don't know if they're doing a State of Play with Summer Games showcase or if they're just doing their own thing. So what are your thoughts, Ignacio? You have a face there. Because their PlayStation is on the list of their partners.
I know it is on the list.
Yeah.
Here's my, let's call it, problem with Summer Game Fest. And Kyle knows my thoughts on it pretty well from last year. Take away Summer Game Fest, take away Jeff Keighley. What changes? What doesn't happen? What? Because here in the list we have Ubisoft's thing, we have EA Play, that Jeff is putting them on Summer Game Fest. Those already were going to happen. We already knew about them.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened? What does Summer Game Fest add?
When
he has the Kickoff event, which it is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But if you look at it as an event, it is pretty cool. If you look at the whole thing at Summer Game Fest, what changes if you take it away?
When
sure, you don't have the Kickoff. You still have the Ubisoft thing. You still have EA Play. You probably will still have PlayStation's thing, whatever it is. So even what does it mean for even PlayStation to be partnered with Summer Game Fest? Is it just that they get to say that they are part of Summer Game Fest, or does Jeff Keighley have any input on it? What changes?
So you're thinking of it, Ignacio, as just business. So when Jeff Keighley first announced Summer Games Fest, he said, I can't quote it, but he said something along the lines of, he loves the feeling of E3 time and the experience that gives the players and the gamers, and just making it this sort of event where people can come together and celebrate and enjoy games during the summer. So that's what Summer Games Fest is. It's a compilation of all these showcases that could be on their own very well, and they would be if there was no Summer Games Fest. But what he created is that sort of celebration of them, where we can all come together this month or these 3 weeks and announce our stuff together for people to enjoy, for people to look forward to, and all that stuff. So that's what I think of Summer Games Fest as.
But is Jeff Keighley, is Summer Game Fest telling them, oh, you should do it this week, or you should do something, do it this week, or is it these companies are doing something on these days? Jeff Keighley comes to them and says, hey, let me put it on my Summer Game Fest calendar. Which to me, what last year's Summer Game Fest was kind of a glorified Google Calendar with some reveals, like Crash, I think, was one of the reveals. Tony Hawk, I think, was another reveal that was by Jeff Keighley. But that was pretty much what Summer Game Fest was last year. What changes this year? How is it? How is this more than just a Google Calendar?
I agree with you, and I mentioned this last year too. I feel like you can say the same thing about E3. You can.
I don't think you can
take
say
away
the same.
The branding of E3, and those showcases could still happen.
They still gather. I don't think it is the same.
Why isn't that? Why can't you say the same thing about it?
E3 gathers people. E3 has, okay, this is the week. This is the week that everyone's going to do things, and we are going to have people do demos during this week of E3, and we're going to have Greg and Golden Boy and Jackie.
Sure.
I think, was it
that's
who are going to host it.
They have the power to say that.
But
Whereas
that's the thing.
Jeff
E3
Keighley doesn't really have that yet, but with him building this up and making it smaller, making it tighter, putting that branding on that will then become recognizable. It'll become marketable. It'll get more money. It'll get more eyes. All that stuff, and then he will have that cachet to say like, "Hey, this is my month. In that month, you guys like, hey." PlayStation, we need something from you. Microsoft, we need something from you. We need something here, and he will eventually get there. But he's starting from square one, so he might not have that same sway yet.
Yeah,
does that make sense? Like he's getting there.
That's because you could think of Jeff Keighley with the Game Awards as well. That Game Awards throughout the years have increased in viewers millions by the millions. So the fact that you put that name behind these showcases, more people will flock to watch them. Just like E3, everybody knows what E3 is, but no one's gonna. There could be a Ubisoft Play sometime in June, and maybe people won't know unless it's part of E3. Summer Games Fest could be the same sort of thing, just like people announce stuff at the Game Awards. With Jeff Keighley and stuff like that.
But I think if you take away the Game Awards, you take away the opportunity of so many people to show their games. People go to the Game Awards to showcase their things. What happens if you take away Summer Game Fest?
Then people can't go to showcase their things.
Ubisoft still showcases their thing the same day that they planned on doing it. EA still showcases the day that they planned on doing it. PlayStation still does the same thing.
So let me ask you, this, Ignacio. What if you took away E3 from Ubisoft? They're still going to do their thing, right?
I said, like they can still showcase all of their stuff. They don't need E3 to tell them.
Sure, Ubisoft, yeah. So many others know.
Do that, yeah.
Okay, so what about all the other ones on Kickoff?
You take away E3, a lot of things do not get made. You take away Summer Game Fest, any of these, other than Jeff's thing, which is his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ignore that because that's Jeff doing it. Take away Summer Game Fest. What doesn't happen? What showcase isn't made? What game isn't revealed?
Like I think at the end of the day, it comes down to E3 is a recognizable name, and Summer Games Fest is not. Yeah. So they are attracting smaller things that can't afford to showcase at E3.
But what is being done now, this year, last year?
He's building up his brand and his reputation so that he can get those bigger things.
Just like he's done with the Game Awards.
We do here on Crossplay, right? Like we can't really get a lot of the big names on our show, but if we build up that reputation, we can get there. Where Greg Miller is like, yes, I will download Final Fantasy 14, and I will play it with you tonight.
By adding your name to another event, to another showcase.
We use the name Crossplay to build up that reputation, the same way that Jeff Keighley is using the name Summer Games Fest to build up that reputation.
It is pretty much like when people say this show is brought to you by something, whatever.
Yeah.
That's an advertiser, but he needs to build up that reputation to get
It is pretty much that. It is. At best, it would be PlayStation. PlayStation Direct presented by Summer Game Fest. At best.
That could be. That's
the
a partnership.
thing that Microsoft does at E3.
But what does Summer Show and what does it influence? Summer Game Fest. How does that influence the PlayStation's thing, Ubisoft's thing, EA's thing?
Ignacio, these are partnerships. He's not claiming ownership over any of these things.
But what does it do? What is it?
What does
E3 do? What does E3 do?
E3 does do something. There is an impact that E3 has.
And you think
And
Summer Games Fest
Games
can't
Fest
have
is
that?
building up that impact too. That's what they're
By
that's
doing
what they're
what?
building up by having these showcases.
By doing the same thing that E3 does.
By doing the same thing that
It's
E3
not the
is
same
doing.
thing. It's not the same thing.
How is it not?
Because E3 is
Anyways.
doing. You take away E3 again. You take away E3, things do not happen. There are things that do not happen. You take away Summer Game Fest, I think that things still happen the way that they were going to.
Okay.
It's that
All right.
Sure. All right. Let's move on.
It's the same discussion we had last year.
Time Splitters is returning. Deep Silver announced on Twitter that they are opening a studio to develop a new Time Splitters game. The post reads here, they posted a little picture saying here, a new Deep Silver studio is coming, free radical design. You asked and we listened. We have been working on plans to bring the Time Splitters franchise back to life and are pleased to let you know that we are setting up a new Deep Silver development studio to do just that. Free Radical Design is reforming and will be headed up by industry and Time Splitters veterans Steve Ellis and Dave Doak. This is an exciting first step in the process. Development on a new game has not yet started, and we will update you when we have more news to share. So, Free Radical Design's it said that they're reforming, and they were previously owned by Crytek, which they developed Time Splitters 1, 2, and a third installment, Future Imperfect, with them. A fourth game was apparently in development, but that never came to fruition. And just if you don't know, Time Splitters is a first-person shooter with like time travel elements. This game came out a while ago. I was pretty young, so I don't remember playing it. I think I did play it. Kyle, I know you're older than me. Did you play Time Splitters?
Oh man.
Old man.
Because my back hurts and my knees aren't as much doesn't mean that I played Time Splitters. No, yeah, I actually am kind of in the same boat. I know the name. I don't think I've ever played a Time Splitters game. I know a lot of people like it. But it's one of those weird things that I think a lot of people want, but there's also equally a number of people that are like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is Time Splitters? Why should I care?
Mm-hmm. What about, do you care, Ignacio?
Look, I know nothing about Time Splitters. I've heard the name.
You heard it? Yeah.
I do not know what it is about, but I want to add something to this previous story. I'm still excited for the showcase that Jeff Keighley is going to do.
No, you hate it, Ignacio. Let's remember that.
I don't want people to think that I'm not looking forward to it. And also Baller Move
hates Jeff Keighley. You heard it here
also,
first.
I want to add Baller Move for him to put what did he call it? His event like the week before E3 and calling it Kickoff. Power Move.
Oh.
Power Move indeed.
But yeah, Time Splitters, I know nothing about it.
I'm like, that's the thing. Like, I do like when these kind of legacy franchises come back in a major way. I think that is good, at least for awareness within the game space. That it's like, hey, not all games are Fortnite, or they don't all look like Fortnite, right?
Yeah. It's probably gonna look like Fortnite.
Also, right, it might. But like, I'm also a fan of first-person shooters and time travel, so this has my
there you go.
attention of being like, I like those buzzwords. What does this mean? When is it coming out? We'll see.
There you go.
But yeah. So excited, but I don't know much. So it's just like, well,
yeah, and we won't hear about it for a few more years. So
yeah,
THQ Nordic owns
everything.
Deep Silver. No, they own Deep Silver.
Yeah.
So
Embracer Group.
It is, yeah, Embracer Group. So like we all know, they bought a lot of IP, a lot of studios. So
yeah.
At least they are doing something with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So Time Splitters is returning. There we go, my friends. Number 4. WB Games will be split following the Warner Discovery merger. This comes from a tweet from a fellow named Steven Totillo. He said, let me read the tweet here. WB Games is getting broken up somehow due to AT&T's Warner Media Discovery sale / merger. Some of the gaming arm will stay with AT&T and some will go with the new company, Rep tells Axios' Sarah Fisher. No further info. WB Games lists 11 studios, games for all kinds of IP and devices. So let me see here. The most notable studios are Avalanche Software, which is making Harry Potter, Monolith, which has made Shadow of Mordor, NetherRealm, which we all know is Mortal Kombat, Rocksteady, which has made Batman, TT Games, which is Lego, WB Games Montreal, which is making Gotham Knights. They have also made a Batman game. But I want to ask you guys, Ignacio, what does this mean if some of the studios are sent over to Discovery rather than staying at Warner Bros? What could happen to them?
First of all, I don't know why they are splitting them up.
Yeah, I don't.
Do they want to do games with Discovery Channel? I don't know. If indeed they go and split them up, it would be, well, even looking at this list, it would suck for any of these games to be split up from WB because all of these games work with WB properties and they make great games with them.
Yeah.
We gotten great games from Rocksteady and Batman. TT Games make a lot of good licensed Lego games. WB Montreal, they are working on a Batman game. Avalanche Software is working on a Harry Potter game. And so if any of these studios get split up and sent to Discovery, I do not know what that means for them using WB licenses. If they indeed cannot use them because they would be technically a part of a different company, it would suck. Straight up, it would suck.
I'd want to see a Dirty Jobs game by Montreal Studios. What do you think, Kyle?
So yeah, this I saw this news more so in the TV sphere of stuff where AT&T for the past couple years hasn't really known what to do with their entertainment properties.
Yeah, this isn't the first time we've heard of them selling their games division.
Yeah, we've heard rumors of that. I know as a big comic book nerd, there's been discussions of like, oh, they're selling DC Comics. What if Marvel buys them? Oh my god! Like there's all sorts of stuff floating around out there, and it just seems like they don't really know what to do with them. So if this happens, we don't know exactly how it will go down exactly, if they are dividing up their mobile studios versus all that stuff, or if it's only the TV studios that are going to Discovery. Because Discovery, if you guys are unfamiliar, is one of the largest cable networks here in the United States, at least. But they do a lot of unscripted shows and stuff. They do all the like Food Network stuff and like you said, like dirty jobs and stuff like that.
They do a lot of nature stuff.
Yeah.
So stuff, I think.
As far as TV goes, I think this would be an interesting move. I kind of like it. To up the content and stuff that's on HBO Max, because they are really struggling with some stuff there. Or if they change the name to like Discovery Plus or something, you know.
But we're talking about WB Games specifically,
right? So for the game side of this, that's where I think it's scary, because selling it to a cable network, it's like, what are you guys gonna do with game studios? Like, I mean, we have something that we'll mention here down the road, but Netflix has been looking to get into games. They kind of have been for the past few years, but not really much has come out of that. We know that sometimes studios get sold and then shut down, right? Or they get, like, hey, you guys are now working on helping to make HBO Max faster. It's like, well, okay. So Scary thought, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's all very early stages, so we don't even know what's gonna happen. But I guess we will see. Of course, see what happens. And that is it, my friends, for the big news of the week. Kyle, take us over the new and notable.
All right. New and notable this week, 505 Games announced Ghostrunner 2 for the next gen consoles as well as PC or current gen, if you want to get technical nowadays.
Only 3080 and above.
No stuff like that. But yeah, Ignacio, I know you played this one. You excited?
Oh yeah, pretty exciting. These news came out 2 weeks ago, but I put it here because I wanted to talk about it. Yeah, it is pretty exciting. Ghostrunner is such a fun game. It is short, but it is so much fun playing through it. I love the gameplay and I want to see it back. And also the game had story behind it, so I do want to see that story be expanded upon. But yeah, I just want more Ghostrunner. I want to keep playing it.
Cool.
So yeah, pretty exciting.
That's cool.
Good stuff. Next up, it looks like everything is happening on May 25th. A whole bunch of these things I'm about to say here are all coming out May 25th, including Biomutant for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Final Fantasy 14 for PlayStation 5. Gino.
All right.
How you feeling?
So we didn't get to talk about it last week because last week we were all gone. We were all dead for a little bit. The Final Fantasy 14 Fan Fest happened, which is sort of like their E3.
Ignacio just left. I don't know why.
He I don't know why his internet goes out every
once game. We don't like that.
I was joking. I forgot that you have it so that people without video go.
So
your camera's not back on. Just FYI,
I can see that too. I don't know
why. You ruined the joke, Ignacio.
Anyway, continue, Gino.
Yeah. So anyway, they announced quite a few things for the new expansion coming out. And Walker, they announced the release date, which I had said from the beginning, November. It is November 24th, I believe, or 22nd. One of those. You could play it earlier if you pre-order, of course, which I will be doing. And they also announced the new DPS class, which is a melee DPS class, the Reaper, which holds a scythe, which is pretty badass, if you ask me.
Nice.
And they a lot of stuff happened in that showcase that was, you could have a whole podcast on, so I won't go into it, but I'm very excited for it. And what this the 25th is just the PlayStation 5 version. It's already out, but it's coming out of beta pretty much. They had it in beta for a month. So now
Cool.
On the 25th it'll be fully released. So
full release.
There we go.
Have you gotten to play it on PS5? Did you play the beta?
Yeah, I have it. It's the beta is just like the beta was technically just the release of the PS5 version. They use it to test it to see if it's all working well and all that stuff, but now it'll just be just a PS5 version, not a beta anymore. So and there's no new download or anything for me. Just I guess an update, I think, but that's it. So there you go.
Good on them. Next up, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster is coming out for PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC on May 25th. Saints Row the Third Remastered is heading to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and S on May 25th. And Destiny 2 Crossplay beta is also coming on May 25th. Like I said, everything is happening May 25th. The next gen versions of GTA 5 alongside a standalone version of GTA Online arrives November 11th, and PlayStation Plus members will get free access to GTA Online for its first 3 months. So
pretty
if you have PlayStation Plus, go hop in. Go have fun with that.
Rockstar said that the PS5 series version will be enhanced and expanded. So I'm pretty curious to see what that expanded means.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds.
If anything,
is that like a new section? A new?
Could pretty much be nothing than just saying stuff. But I don't know. I'm still pretty excited for it to come to next year.
Cool. That game just will not stop.
Then it came out 8 years ago.
Right?
8 years ago. PS3, PS4, now PS5.
Wow. Lastly, The Last of Us Part 2 got a performance patch for PlayStation 5, allowing 60 frames per second gameplay. There you go.
Nice.
Last of Us Part 2. That is all the new and notable that we got for this week. So let's get on to our lightning round.
Yeah, so I put this first one here for Alan, but he isn't here, so that's unfortunate. But according to Team Cherry, they confirmed that Hollow Knight Silksong will be skipping E3 this year.
That game's never coming out, dude.
Single tier for Alan.
That game
Pour
is
one
not
out for the
going
homies.
to come out anytime soon. Speaking of games not coming out anytime soon, Amy Hennig of Uncharted fame and Stash Week are working together on a new action-adventure game. They both work together at EA on a cancelled Star Wars game. So that's pretty exciting.
Good stuff there.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what Todd Stashwick has worked on other than that EA project, but Amy Hennig, she built up Uncharted, and those are some pretty cool games. So I'm excited to see what she does next. Next up, we have EA. EA to open up a new studio focused on open world action games, and it will be headed by ex-Monolith VP Kevin Stevens. Stevens was studio head during the development of the Shadow of Mordor franchise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pretty excited to see what they make with an open world
now
action
he's
game.
getting sent to Discovery. What a shame. What a shame.
It's gonna be right. It's gonna be an interesting one because EA they have other games, obviously, but I still think of them as like the sports people.
Yeah.
Right. So
do they have an open world action game already?
You're talking about Fallen Order?
Yeah, I guess yeah.
Wouldn't
Not really
call it
open world, but it is like an action adventure game closest to what an open world could be.
Sure, yeah.
It's close.
I just want to see more of that.
Like I said, they have some stuff out there, but it's just I don't think of them as that. So
I want to see more of that. It would be nice to see them focus on more of these single player games, because I mean, Jedi Fallen Order was one of the best games of that year. So for them to focus on different properties that they could have, or just another, this could even be talking about. No, actually, I'm thinking about Ubisoft.
Soccer.
Ubisoft is making a Star Wars game, right?
Yeah.
I thought they were talking about Star Wars here, but I guess we'll see. This is a new studio. It's funny because this like comes off of Ubisoft saying that they're going to focus on, what is it, free-to-play games now or something?
Yeah.
And then now EA is
not focus, but give a bigger focus.
Yeah. So they're like going opposite ways. I don't see if they're seeing different things on the market, or if they're just deciding to do this on their own. I like the idea of I love me some open world action adventure games, So for a big company like EA to do that, it would be I know it's going to be of high quality. I would hope so, at the very least.
Yeah, you would hope so. Yeah. And the last news story that we have here, Overwatch 2 is changing to 5v5 matches.
Yeah. So Overwatch,
they had that game in forever. How many is a normal match?
It's 6v6 always.
Oh, so they can.
Yeah, so over the meta is always 2 tanks, 2 healers, and 2 DPS. That's what they're doing now. But they're switching to 1 tank, 2 healers, and 2 DPS. So Overwatch 2 had I didn't watch the event, but they showed a whole bunch of Overwatch 2 info. A lot of people were upset about it changing to 5v5, which I could understand because I mean less friends to play with. I mean
also that's what you've grown accustomed to.
Yeah, and you're also used to the 2 tanks, 2 healers, 2 DPS. So the fact that there's only going to be 1 tank on a team, it just puts a lot of pressure on them because there's already pressure on them as it is. So this is it basically changes the entire way the game works in some way. I feel like it's something that they do need to do to differentiate between the two of them. Because a lot of people also mentioned that Overwatch 2 just seems like it could just be a patch. It's just an add-on.
Well, it's basically the only reason why I'm interested in number 2 is the story mode, because all of the multiplayer stuff is still coming to the first one. So it is technically a patch if you don't buy this game. But that like changes that first game then to now only 5. So you won't. If you don't update the game, I guess you can still do 6-on-6 matches. Yeah, maybe. But I don't know how that works exactly. But that completely is just like, we're just gonna fuck up your whole shit. So.
I don't know how they're gonna do it because I assume to update Overwatch 1 you will have to pay for the new content in the multiplayer mode.
They said it was coming for free last I remember.
So if it's coming for free, are they charging full price for just a story mode? You know what I mean? Is that like... That's
been the discussion. They're like, is this going to be $30? Is this going to be $60? What's going on here?
So that's interesting to think about. But this was headed by the new director, not Jeff Kaplan anymore. So good for that guy. I assume he's getting a lot of death threats now or something. So that sucks for him. But
don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, people are the worst. Just freaking play your video games, dude. But yeah, this is interesting. It's interesting to see the way they're changing it. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't played Overwatch in a while, but Overwatch is one of those games that I could always just hop back in and rage quit. So but yeah, there you go.
There you go. Well, let's wrap things up how we normally do. Gino, what are you excited for this week? What are you looking to hop back into?
This week, I'm looking forward to hopping back into some Knockout City. And like I said, I've convinced friends to play Final Fantasy 14, so I'm looking forward to I've convinced, people with real logic. They just have logic in their brains, and they're like, you know what, this is probably a really good game to try. And let me try it out because it's free of charge. A critically acclaimed MMORPG, Final Fantasy 14, with no time limit up to level 60, with the award-winning expansion as well. And they're just trying it, so it's cool to have new people come in and play it. So I'm looking forward to all that.
Ignacio,
I speaking of Final Fantasy 14, I'll let you know that I deleted Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, you made your bed. You made your bed. Look at that. That's nice.
I needed some space.
There you go.
I needed some space, and that was the first one on the chopping block.
What do you need space for? What do you need space? Some freaking nerd, dude, playing an old game like that. Oh wow.
Instead of that new Final Fantasy 14.
Shut up about it.
That brand new Final Fantasy 14. Yeah.
There you go. Man, I still haven't played much of Returnal, so I want to go back to that and see if I can even beat the first boss with that, because I haven't gotten I can't either. I played that original 3 hours and that was it. I was like, I like this. This feels good. I don't feel like I'm progressing, but I want to keep playing. And then I just never did.
I was hovering over it on my storage thing. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I should go back or not. And then I didn't delete it. I feel like I should try again.
I forgot about Biomutant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you had asked me before, I would have said that it's still 2 years away.
Super excited for
like
it.
I don't know much about it, but I know it looks
Me neither.
really, really good. And
I hope this game
interested.
Well, I actually don't think this game is gonna fly under people's radars because people are looking forward to it. It's just that there also is people that think that game's never coming out. Like that's so like so I don't know if people still think that, but as soon as people
it's out this week.
As soon as people start hearing about it, they're gonna start playing because it does look pretty incredible. It looks like a really good game, so I'm looking forward to it. That too, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to this week to play that. Hop into some Biomutant, make an ugly little raccoon boy.
You know it. Gino, where can they find you and your ugly little raccoon boy?
You could find me playing with my ugly little raccoon boy on twitch.tv/GinoVii, and you could also find me on Twitter at Gino_Viteri.
Oh, and Ignacio, where can they find you not playing Final Fantasy XIV?
You can find me not playing Final Fantasy XIV on Twitter at Ignacio Rojas B. That's IGNACIOROJASB, where I'll probably be talking about the much better Final Fantasy, that being Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate when it comes out.
You should also tweet at Jeff Keighley right now and tell him how much you hate him. How much you absolutely despise his existence.
Yeah, I gotta ask him how to add his Google Calendar to mine. How to add Summer Game Fest to my Google Calendar.
Start some beef with Jeff Keighley. Go ahead. You can do it.
We'll get him on the show eventually, right?
And then he'll come on the show. There you go.
Yeah.
Good stuff. You guys can find me at Yoke Kyle Springer, still debating if I should play Returnal or not.
Play Village. Play Village, you coward.
Not for me. So,
fine, play Outlast then.
I'm at Yoke Kyle Springer on Twitter. If you guys want to stay up to date with all of the shows and stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter. Go like, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff. Last thing I will say is that Whatnauts Wednesdays is back. I will be streaming. I'm moving my Sunday stream to that Wednesday. I'm no longer streaming on Sundays because we've been slacking on that. So I think I might just be there playing some Fall Guys and stuff like that, because that's what I did this past Wednesday, and that was a lot of fun. So I hop back in that. Might continue playing Breath of the Wild because I got to the first of the Fantastic Beasts and then just stopped.
Nice.
So we'll see. But you guys can check that out on our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/the Whatnauts. But with that wraps things up. We will see you all next week. Bye.
See ya.
Man, I can't believe E3 is less than a month.
Shut up about it, dude.